YouTube is a website where anyone can be anything they want to be. It's also a site where people vie to be at the top, vie to be at #1, and they'll do anything to get there. Nowhere is this mentality more prevalent than with pranking. It is transformed into something that was done for just silly, harmless fun into a shit show of epic proportions that harasses others under the guise of entertainment. And the person at the top of this movement is a man by the name of Sam Pepper, one of the most notorious YouTubers of all time. But how did he become so notorious? Well, I'm glad you asked. So sit back, folks, because today I'm going to tell the story of Sam Pepper. Let's get into it. Sam Pepper was born on March 26, 1989 in Ashford, England, to parents of Greek descent. He even attended Pent Valley Technology College for a period of time, although it's unclear whether or not he graduated or just simply dropped out. But his true claim to fame was appearing on the UK edition of the popular reality show Big Brother in 2010. He was most well known for causing mischief, playing pranks, getting into fights with other contestants, and generally being the villain that everyone loved to hate. Because let's be honest, reality shows pretty much thrive on drama. He became a popular fixture on the show as people couldn't wait to see what he did next, until he was eventually evicted on its 72nd day. But this small taste of success, this small taste of fame, enticed Sam to continue his career and expand further into the digital age. And so, on September 8, 2010, he created his own YouTube channel by the name of simply Sam Pepper. This decision would give him tons of fame and make his name known around the world, and it would also change the direction of his life forever. Sam moved to LA in 2010, where he soon began making his prank videos. And while at first they were very simple and harmless, over time they started to becoming increasingly more provocative, sexual, risque, and adult. With videos such as My Craziest Sexual Experience, How to Make Out with Strangers, Fake Hand-Ass Pinch Prank, and the infamous Killing My Best Friend prank. Now, why would someone with over 2.3 million subscribers agree to sink to such a low level like this? Well, it's because prank channels on YouTube were up in the ante when it came to risque and provocative content, with false thumbnails and ridiculous titles such as Gone Wild, Gone Sexual, Gone Wrong, Gone We're Running Out of Ideas, etc. And while many of them were utterly despicable and bordered on the line of just straight up harassment, they were still massively popular, raking in millions upon millions upon millions of views, and arguably making more money than we'll probably ever see in our lifetime. And Sam simply felt that he needed to move in that direction in order to remain relevant on YouTube. The fainting prank and the old man levitating prank were simple and harmless, but they were not risque and provocative enough in order for Sam to survive in this crowded landscape, which is why he shifted into more provocative content, more offensive content, if you will. Now, YouTube is known as a place where you can express yourself and you can be whoever you want to be and say whatever you want to say. But there are some times where you cross the line, where you go over the line and do something that's so stupid, so dumb, so morally bankrupt that it raises the ire of absolutely everyone. And Sam crossed this line with gaping strides with an infamous video that I'm sure you're all aware of at this point. In September 2014, Sam uploaded a video titled Fake Hand-Ass Pinch Prank, in which he went around pinching the asses of various women that were on the streets of LA. Now, he did this under the guise of being a prank and a social experiment, but pretty much everyone else saw through the bullshit, and so he was soon embroiled in controversy, as many YouTubers, including yours truly, called him out on his bullshit, and called out the video for what it truly was. Blatant sexual harassment that was designed to do nothing more than to generate views and earn some of that sweet YouTube moolah. 2 days later, YouTube ended up removing the video as it violated their terms of service when it came to sexual content. But this wasn't the end of Sam's troubles, no sirree. Not long after the video's release, various women started coming out, accusing Sam of sexually assaulting and abusing them. Two well-known YouTubers by the name of Marina Joyce and Dottie Martin highlighted their experiences in dealing with Sam Pepper. Marina accused Sam of sexually assaulting her in a bathroom at UK's Warped Tour, while Dottie accused Sam of making sexual advances towards her at a movie theater. The controversy only further intensified when well-known sex vlogger and feminist Lacey Green posted an open letter on Tumblr decrying Sam's actions, And she made a video detailing that various women had come forward to her detailing their experiences with Sam and how he supposedly sexually assaulted and abused them. The most egregious of these examples, the most what's the word I'm looking for? The most damning of these evidence is a woman, an anonymous woman, who made an impassioned and quite frankly disturbing video detailing about how Sam had allegedly raped her. She, along with several other women, reported Sam to the LAPD on the grounds of rape, although this didn't end up going very far, and no charges were ever formally filed against Sam, although it really didn't matter at that point as his reputation was irreparably damaged. And while he tried to claim it was all some grand social experiment made to highlight the dangers of sexual harassment and that it happens to men too, nobody bought it, and the damage was already done. Collective Digital Studios, now known as Studio 71, dropped him from their network. He was banned from VidCon, and he was also banned from appearing in any future episodes of the Fine Brothers YouTubers React series. Not to mention, there was a petition on Change.org to have his YouTube channel removed entirely. Now you would figure after such a backlash like this that he would want to, lay low for a while, and to his credit, he did just that. But he came back a year later to stir up even more outrage and push his luck right over the hilt. In November 2015, Sam uploaded a video titled Killing Best Friend Prank, in which he kidnapped a guy named Sam and pretended to kill his best friend Colby by shooting him in the head with a fake Nerf gun. Or wait, a fake prop gun. Whatever, it looked real. No, wait a minute, it was totally fake because 99% of YouTube pranks are fake as fuck. Now, why would Sam agree to sink to such a despicable act? Why would he agree to perform such a despicable act? Well,
we've got to have money.
The video sparked even more outrage from an even further incensed, angry internet mob, which only further cemented his reputation as the most hated man on the internet. The video was then removed a few days later. But then, in a bizarre turn of events, on December 13th, 2015, he announced a crowdfunding campaign in which he would delete his YouTube channel for a grand total of $1.5 million. Although this never actually happened, and it was dismissed by the internet populace as a whole as another publicity stunt in order to keep his name relevant. He then went dark for a while, and then started mass deleting not only the majority of his YouTube videos, but also completely purging his Facebook and Twitter pages. He then uploaded a video on his YouTube channel on February 23rd, 2016 titled I'm Sorry, in which he apologized for all the despicable and deplorable acts that he committed over the years, and actually admitted that he didn't enjoy making prank videos, and that the only reason he made them as provocative and risque as they became was because he felt like he needed to do it in order to remain relevant on YouTube, as that was the direction prank channels were going in. He also admitted, to the surprise of absolutely no one, that all of his prank videos were fake and they were staged with hired actors. He also announced that he would no longer be producing any prank videos, and instead he would be shifting to making vlogs and talking about his life experiences. This was an effort by him in order to make what he described as more positive content. Whew, that's quite a lot. All this controversy, all this talk of sexual harassment, sexual assault, alleged rape and all that is absolutely insane. And it's got me itching to give my opinion on this whole Sam Pepper fiasco. I think the whole Sam Pepper story is quite unfortunate because he had the potential to do something great. He had the potential to use his influence and massive audience to do something good, to actually make a difference, and instead, he squandered his potential for nothing more than YouTube money. And his reputation is destroyed. It's up in flames, and well, I can somewhat appreciate the fact that he owned up to his mistakes and that he shifted his focus to making more positive content. It doesn't negate all the bullshit that he's pulled over the years, and it certainly doesn't excuse it either. You know, he's going to be forever known as the guy that sexually harassed a woman on the street for YouTube money. He's going to be forever known as the guy that pretended to kill someone else's best friend for YouTube money. He's essentially the internet version of Chris Brown, and the reason I say that is because while Chris Brown has tried and utterly failed to be a good person, he's still going to be forever known as the guy that beat up Rihanna. No matter what he does, no matter how many good deeds he performs, that stigma is on him for life. And the bullshit that Sam Pepper pulled, that's going to be on him for life, you know? And he's going to be forever remembered for that. And you know what they say, the internet never forgets. And to any women that were potentially victimized by Sam Pepper, and any woman that are potentially being victimized by men, if you are being sexually assaulted, if you're being raped, if you're being abused or anything like that, then contact the police right away. Even if it doesn't end up leading to anything, contacting the police and informing them of what happened to you is honestly better than nothing. And I was there when this whole shit went down back in 2014. I mean, I made an entire video on it, and if you want to watch it, links in the annotation above. And as somebody that was raised in a family of women, as somebody that was born by a woman, and as somebody that is around women all the time, I would never even think of doing shit like this. And sure, I have urges. Sure, as a man, I desire the bodies of women, as we all do. And sure, I can imagine, you know, being close and intimate with women. I would never do anything like that. I would never violate a woman in that way. It just goes against my moral compass. Even if I really wanted to do it, I just couldn't. I couldn't talk myself into doing it. And honestly, I thought that Sam Pepper, and I still think Sam Pepper is a piece of shit for what he did, and that's not something that can be easily forgotten or easily forgiven, you know? And, you know, it just really goes to show, very much like Onision and like NeoGaf, Sam Pepper is really the perfect example of what can happen when you let fame and notoriety go to your head. When you feel like you're entitled for sex, when you feel like you're entitled to things that you want because of who you are. And that really isn't always the case, and sometimes that leads you into doing dumb shit like what Sam Pepper did. And, you know, like, it's unfortunate. It just did not have to happen, and it's a really back mark in the history of YouTube, but I think it's important that we talk about it. It's important that we address it, because those who don't understand their history are doomed to repeat it. That's why I did an episode on Sam Pepper, because, you know, if anybody is having these type of urges, if they can watch this video and learn from it, hopefully this will ward off people from doing shit like this in the future. But, you know what, that's all I gotta say. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka The Unhero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep it weird. Cue an outro sequence now.
Guys just hate it because Disney paid you off. Right. And then you get someone else going, you know what? You make a good point. Maybe they are. And then
a show that talks about movies that's intelligent and thought-provoking. Oh boy, man, have I hit the jackpot on this one. I'm down. Let's rock.